Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 6 of the Taking the Points NFL show. As always, Coach Jay Gruden joins us. Coach, what's going on?
How we doing?
Doing real good. How's the golf been going lately? Good?
Been pretty good. I lost today on the golf course, but played pretty good.
There you go. JJ, taking the points, as you guys all know, the closet Vikings fan. JJ, what's going on?
It's going well, man. My conspiracy theory on Taylor Swift did not hit last week. I'm going to start betting the players more so than the storyline. So there we go. We move forward. It's week 6.
We heard that it was, based on your Twitter, one of the worst NFL Sundays you've had in a while, but it happens, right? I apologize. Coach Jay was chirped me before we went on live. Official records. I don't even have them. They're at the desk. I'll have them next week. But as we all know, Coach Jay has been killing JJ and I so far this year. Just point blank, Coach was getting pissed because his one Commanders pick didn't go so well, and everybody was chirping him.
One video goes viral because I picked the Washington Commanders, but my other 18 picks that I won didn't go viral. I don't understand it.
You made it on freezing cold takes, so there's an accomplishment for you. There you go.
Thanks.
Just two more times on freezing cold takes, and you're with me. I got 3 times on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You could have had a fourth one because you've had a 3-team dog parlay, and all 3 teams lost yet last week.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't make the
Minnesota, give me the Rams, and give me who's the other one?
The Cowboys.
Oh God. I was on the Cowboys. I'm with you. I will say it was ugly. JJ, what were the other 3? Why were you on freezing cold takes? What were some of those takes?
I don't know. It was like a few things. I think I said, this under is so easy. The game went into like triple overtime in college football, and you know how that goes. It runs up the score, and I look like an idiot. Another time was probably another time where I kind of got ahead of myself and said a team is going to win outright and ended up not hitting. And the other time is probably something close, but I've been on there 3 different times. I got to look it up. I'll pull them up and I'll send them to you for sure.
Yeah, going to have to definitely see him, pull them up, put them on the shelf for next week. As we always do, we're going to start with Jay's judgments. Coach Jay, here we go. 5 teams. I'm going to give you 5 teams. You tell me if you're pressing the panic button or not on these teams. I'm going to start with the Minnesota Vikings.
Panic. Got to panic. Their best player's out. Their defense isn't very good. Their offensive line is not very good. And Kirk Cousins is trying to do this all by himself. He's got a lot of money in his bank, but he doesn't have a lot of people to throw it to. Now, if they can get Hockenson involved and one of these receivers can step up, then maybe they can do okay. I actually picked them this week. But losing Justin Jefferson is a big deal.
Yeah, they said it's a hamstring. Put him on the IR. Who knows how long he's going to be out. Team number 2, the Green Bay Packers.
I wouldn't panic so much because they do have some good defensive personnel. That game last night should have been or Monday night. They let that one go. I think defensively they're okay. Jordan Love is going to be okay. That division, that conference, I think that if they can get to 8-9, 9-8, I think they can be okay.
Third team is an interesting one. Your Washington Commanders, after dropping the ball against the Chicago Bears. Are we pressing the panic button, or are we foolish to even think so?
Panic. Now, my issue is they have four first-round draft picks on a defensive line. 3 of them we drafted, and they're not playing to their capabilities. That's panic. They should be dominating the line of scrimmage, and they're not. So defensively, Jack Del Rio, I don't know what they're doing back there. They're struggling on defense. That's the core of their football team is defense, and they're playing horribly on defense. That bothers me. Offensively, they have Sam Howell. He's a tough kid, but how much can you rely on Sam Howell to win games? Defensively, they better step it up. Del Rio's got to get them going. The defensive line's got to dominate for them to have a chance, but they're not doing it. That's why I'm hitting the panic button.
Interesting. We'll see what happens there as the season progresses. 2 more teams for you, Coach. Dallas Cowboys got blown out Sunday Night Football. They played one of the best teams in the NFL, but Dak didn't look good. Do we press the panic button there in Dallas?
I wouldn't say panic yet. I'd say sense of urgency, something. I think offensively, they are underachieving in a big, big, big way. Defensively, they're okay. Defensively, they need to play with the lead so they can let the dogs hunt. Right now, if they have to play from behind and teams are able to run the ball and do the play actions, keep Micah Parsons in check, they're in trouble. And Dak has not shown the ability to come back from behind. Play from the lead, they're okay. Play from behind, they're not. So semi-panic button.
JJ, I know you're familiar with Boogie with Trent, the GOAT whale. He has under on Dak's interceptions. 3 in one game was ugly. We'll see what happens there. And the last team, coach, the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson's injury sounds like it's lingering on longer than what people think. San Francisco this week. Are we pressing the panic button there if that injury is worse than what we're hearing?
Offensively, maybe. Defensively, they're one of the top defenses in the league, so they will be in games till the fourth quarter because their defense is so good. I really love their defense and what they do. Offensively, I mean, I don't understand this quarterback. I would never bet on them because I don't trust Deshaun Watson. I don't trust this injury. I don't know what's going on. He needs to be playing. He needs to be playing at a high level. They spent a lot of money to get him. He needs to be the face of the franchise, and right now, he's not doing that. He's on the injured reserve, whatever he's on. I just don't trust the Browns on offense, but on defense, I do. I think they're an elite defense. So whoever the quarterback is, they'll be in the game till the fourth quarter.
You know it better than us. Cleveland, they're pressing the panic button like crazy over here, so it's getting rough. A couple more bullet points for Jay's judgments. We've seen the Patriots. To be quite frank, they look like shit. Mac Jones doesn't look good. The offense. Is it time for the Patriots to think about moving on from Mac Jones?
I don't know who else you move on to. Bradley Zapp? I don't think so. I think Mac Jones is a tough kid. He'll compete. They don't have a lot of people around them. They don't have an identity. They don't run the ball very well. They don't have any receivers that can really separate. Juju Smith-Schuster's not a separating type receiver. Bourne's not a separating type receiver. They need to get Hunter Henry going again. Somehow they got to get the running game going again at an efficient rate so they don't have to throw the ball 40 times a game. They need to throw the ball 15 to 20 times a game and hand the ball off for them to have a chance and play great defense. They lost 2 quality defensive players in Gonzalez and obviously Judon. So they're struggling right now. But I don't think they move on from Mac Jones yet.
2 more for you, Coach. Should the Jets or the Falcons consider trading for Kirk Cousins?
The Jets, no. Why would the Jets trade for Kirk Cousins and pay him a lot of money? They got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will be back. I mean, he might be back this year. I mean, so why would the Jets do it? I know they have a great defense. They'll have a great defense next year, so let Aaron Rodgers come back. So I would say no. I think the Vikings would be silly to get rid of Kirk right now. However, I was in the same boat with Washington when I had Kirk on these one-year deals, and if you're going to lose your quarterback and you know you're going to lose them, you got to maximize the return. So if you can get a couple ones or a 1 and a 2 or whatever you can get in a player, you should do it now if you can. I just don't know if they can or not.
John chimes in. He says, how about that horrible offensive line in Washington? Sam Howell's getting killed. Coach, any comments on the offensive line in Washington?
I'm more disappointed in defense, like I said before. I think the defense should be dominating. Sam Howell should not be forced to throw the ball 40 times a game. And that's why the offensive line needs to be going forward more than they are going backwards in protection. If they can do that and stay in games, the offensive line will be okay. But I do agree that their offensive line is not very good as far as pass protection is concerned. They got to get better. Sam Howell's got to get the ball out. He's on a pace to be sacked have the most sacks in the history of the NFL, possibly. So they do need to protect better, but they got to be able to run the ball to take some pressure off Sam.
Last one for you, Coach. Then we're getting into the picks for the week. This was actually submitted via request. A question for you. Toughest coaching decision you ever made in your coaching career?
Oh, my God. There's a lot of them. I mean, every time you walk on the field is tough. Who's going to dress? Who's going to start? I mean, what plays are you going to call? There's a lot of them. So I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call. You should have asked me that question. Give me some time to think about that one. I've coached a long time. Cincinnati, obviously, Washington, Jacksonville for a year. That's a tough call. There's a lot of tough ones, and unfortunately, I didn't make the right ones most of the time. Sometimes I did, but most of the times I probably didn't.
Whoever sent that question in, we will get that answered for you. We'll give you some time, Coach. Think about it. Maybe next week after, we'll come back to it. But let's move into the Week 6 NFL picks. Peter, go ahead and throw the Thursday Night Football picks up there. JJ, what are we doing, man? Denver to cover in this damn football game seems absolutely bizarre, my friend.
I mean, Denver has been starting out pretty hot in these games. I mean, they come out offensive blazing, and I'm not sure if they can score a couple touchdowns early against Kansas City, maybe who knows what could happen. I mean, if they score out 14 points, maybe they go 14-7, 10-7 even going into the second quarter. I feel good having another 10.5 points in my pocket. Give me the Denver Broncos. I mean, this is a divisional game for God's sakes. I mean, let's not this is the NFL we're talking about. I understand the troubles that the Denver Broncos have had. I get that. A lot of negative things going on in the media. I understand that too. But let's be real here. That's the same thing that happened last week against Chicago. Chicago came out and beat Washington outright. So I'm going with the Denver Broncos here. Give me those points in the divisional battle.
I will say, to your point, Travis Kelce didn't practice today. Who knows? That ankle injury happened in the Minnesota Vikings game. Coach Jay, you're obviously with me. You're on the Chiefs to cover here. Do you think there's a shot that with JJ saying it's close, or do you think the Chiefs run away with this one pretty easily?
No, I think it's going to be closer. This is a hard pick for me because this AFC West, Kansas City beat Denver twice last year, and Patrick Mahomes never lost to Kansas or Denver. But the games are close. So JJ does have a point. My whole issue is I cannot take Denver because their defense is so bad. They don't tackle very well. They don't cover. And I just think that Kansas City will make more plays than Denver makes on offense. I think Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, have a nice plan for Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. And I think eventually, I think it'll be close as the game goes on in the fourth quarter. I think Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, they'll make enough plays where they'll win the game by more than 10.
Yeah, I mean, it should be good. Divisional games are always good, and JJ, you make a great point, right? It always scares me, right? We just had a great example what happened in the Commanders-Bears game. Let's go to the London game this week. The Ravens are playing the Tennessee Titans. Myself and JJ, as you guys can see again, picks are courtesy of BetCheck. All these lines are courtesy of BetCheck Ohio Sportsbook. Coach Jay, you're taking the Titans to cover in this game, and I think the Titans have been better than a lot of people advertised them to be beginning of the season before the season had started. But walk us through the cover here in this game as well as the under, because JJ and I are not only on the Ravens on the opposite side, and again, with your track record, you've been killing us, whooping our ass. You're also on the under.
Yes, I'm not sure that the Baltimore Ravens are ready to move on to this offense that they're trying to run. They're not very productive. They drop a lot of passes. And, last week against Pittsburgh was a great example. They had an opportunity to put Pittsburgh away, and they couldn't do it. They can't complete balls. Guys are dropping balls. Lamar's getting hit. I think Tennessee's got a pretty good front that's going to get pressure on them. And I think at the end of the day, Derrick Henry will get some yards, and the clock will continue to tick, 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 tick. And I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and I think Tennessee covers the 4, and they may even win the game.
Yeah, JJ, to your dad's point, I felt bad for Lamar last week. I don't know. Did you watch the Ravens-Steelers game last week?
I did. I saw some highlights. I didn't watch all of it. There's too many things going on. But yeah, I saw a lot of drop passes, but there were also a lot of mistakes that Lamar made too. So this is a different Ravens team that we're watching. It's sad to kind of see because I love seeing Lamar MVP Jackson out there, but we're not really seeing that this year so far.
What mistakes did Lamar make in that game?
Yeah. So why'd you take Baltimore?
Why did I take Baltimore? Because I thought they were the better team. I thought they're better than the Steelers. I don't like Kenny Pickett.
No,
I mean, defensively, we were there. They're there
I'm
on
talking
defense.
about this week. You took Baltimore over Tennessee.
Oh, we're talking about Baltimore. I was going back and forth. I was answering Grant's question. I know what's going on here.
I'm asking JJ. I'm asking you, what did you? Coach is disappointed. What mistake did Lamar make in the Ravens game? They lost that game because the receivers couldn't catch a cold. It wasn't on Lamar.
Didn't he fumble in the back? Didn't he fumble on the goal line?
At end of the game, he fumbled, but
big fumble.
They should have won the game with the receivers. I mean, dropped touchdown left and right. I just didn't see the mistakes that you said they made in that game. I thought Lamar looked good other than the fumble. I mean, TJ Watt, I think he tore a ligament in his finger. His hand was all messed up, so he came in dominated. But I think that game was on the receivers. I solely think the Ravens receivers lost in that football game.
Did they get new receivers or something? You're betting on the receivers to catch the ball this week?
I guess so. I'm betting on them. I'm not. Tennessee looks good, but I think the Ravens are going to come out angry and pissed that they lost.
Tennessee doesn't look that great either. It was a tough game. This is another tough game. These are both teams that are struggling on offense in a big way. That's why the under, I think, is the play personally. But I just think Tennessee with Derrick Henry, they can keep it close. I'm not really convinced on Tennessee's offensive line, their ability to protect Ryan Tannehill. It's going to be a struggle. this game is going to be ugly, and I think Tennessee will probably manage a field goal at the end of the game to win the game.
And you have both teams going to London again. Who knows how those teams are going to handle that travel? Let's go to Jay's Commanders. Commanders Falcons. Coach Jay fading the Commanders this week on the Falcons to cover here. So I got to come to you first. I'm going to go to JJ because he's the only one on the Commanders covering here. Walk us through the Falcons getting this one done and covering at home. Coach?
Well, I took Atlanta, right?
You did. Atlanta to cover.
Yeah, I took Atlanta because I was very disappointed in the line play and the defense of the Washington Commanders. Now, I believe that they can step it up and turn it around on defense, and until they do, I'm going to bet against them because Atlanta can run the ball very effectively. Washington should be able to stop the run, but they haven't stopped the run. I don't like seeing inside zones for 12-yard gains by Chicago's running backs. I don't like to see that. So you're going to see a heavy dose of the running backs for Atlanta. I mean, they got elite players on offense running the ball. They got a zone reads. They got a lot of things that Washington has to deal with. And then Drake London is already at Washington Stadium right now, strapping up his shoes, stretching after what he saw A.J. Brown and D.J. Moore do to those guys. So they got to stop the run, and then somebody's going to have to single cover Drake London. I don't think they have anybody that can do it.
Kyle Pitts finally produced for the Falcons last week. I think he had 7 catches for 80-some yards. JJ, sell the Commander faithful on them covering in this game because I obviously my pick. I was with your dad here, but I just don't see the Commanders covering. But sell us.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you guys a betting insight here. It might be the worst sell job ever on the history of a betting show. But let's talk about it. I mean, the defensive line for the Redskins or the Commanders, terrible. I mean, Justin Fields literally had probably the best game of his career last Thursday night against the Commanders. Then you look at their secondary, horrible as well. The Commanders' offense wasn't moving the ball at all against the Chicago Bears until late in the game when they figured out in the second half. We don't see any kind of coaching being made, I think, on the sidelines. I don't want to single out coaching, Dad. No hard feelings. But at the end of the day, they're only 2.5-point underdogs against a Falcons team who's coming off, a strong season so far. You would think that the Falcons have this game in the bag. It's a 2.5-point line. It's very enticing for a public bettor to take the Falcons here at home. But for whatever reason, I call it bait, and I'm taking the Commanders here plus 2.5.
The Falcons are 3-0 at home so far this year, JJ. Undefeated.
All right. That's another point to make that it's bait.
Coach, it's bait. It's bait, Coach. It's all bait.
Every line that Vegas makes is bait. They're baiting you into betting. So you bet and then you lose.
You don't need to bait me in the bet. I'm going to bet regardless.
It's the stupidest thing ever. Bait. Name me one game on the slate. Name me one game on the slate that's not bait.
They try to maximize their money on a specific side. They'll put out a line there and they'll try to say, where is the public money going to come on a specific side, right? So they throw out the 2.5 for the Falcons. These guys look good. They're 3-0 at home. Commanders look shitty. That blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and see how many heads we can get on this Falcons side. 73% of the public or whatever it is. Let's make some cash. There it is. There you have it.
There's the sell job, Coach. We have no choice but to listen to it.
The bait was on the over-under, in my opinion, right? Neither one of these teams can score very easily. I mean, it's a struggle. I took the over because I thought that's where the bait was. Personally. So I took the over. I believe I took the over.
Let's head to another game JJ, go ahead and look like you want to say something.
I want to ask my pop something real quick. So far, Sam Howell this season, what would you rank him quarterback-wise post Kirk Cousins era? Is he the best quarterback to go under center for Washington?
No. What?
Or Kirk Cousins?
Alex Smith.
Okay.
Alex Smith was good, man. He was good. He was good. Fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's
after Alex Smith.
I mean, close. I always like Colt McCoy. I think Colt and Sam are very similar. I think Colt was a little bit more accurate of a passer. Sam's more athletic, maybe, but Colt was pretty athletic. But just Colt got injured all the time. Sam Howell's more like Case Keenum, probably. They're both very tough, athletic, scramble around, make some plays. Case had a good career. So I don't know. It's close, but Sam is making a case for himself. He's done a lot of good things in his first 5 or 6 games as an NFL player, I think he's got a lot of upside, actually.
Let's move on. One more question I got to ask. I think I might have seen this on your Twitter. Do you think Sam Howell could become an NFL franchise quarterback for the Commanders?
Well, look around the league, everybody, and tell me who the NFL franchise quarterbacks are. There's about 6, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7, if you really stretch it, that are elite. After that, you got to have a quarterback. And Sam Howell has proven that he can make the throws, run around, make some plays. He's got a long way to go. They have another 2 full solid years of seeing Sam Howell before they make that decision. So let's give him some time. Everybody just calm down, right? There's not a lot of great elite quarterbacks in the NFL now. So you have to develop somebody in-house. If he has the tools to develop, if he's a smart kid, loves football, competes, has the arm strength, and can run a little bit, then let's develop those skills and see how he does in the next 2 years and then make the decision.
We'll see how he ends up doing and see how long he is part of the Commanders and his QB1 over there. Let's move to Vikings Bears. My play of the day here. I'll sell you guys on it, right? It'll be quick. The Bears, horses are high coming off of that, as we keep saying, dominant win. I know it is in Chicago, but I'm not buying it, right? The Minnesota Vikings just took it to the wire with the Chiefs. And this brings me to a question for you, Coach Jay. Did you see the clip at the end of the game where the ref literally flat out, JJ, you probably saw this too. It should have been a penalty. The guy on the Chiefs took his helmet off, and the ref says, put your helmet on. Like, why wasn't that a penalty?
I don't know. There's like 3 penalties on that same play that they didn't call. It was a really weird, creepy type of play. It was a bad look for the NFL on that play. So, yeah, you take your helmet off, it's a penalty, and they didn't call it. There was a holding. There was a hands to the face by the defensive lineman, like right up his grill, and they didn't call that. It was 3 penalties on one play, nothing called. Minnesota is struggling right now. They're going to struggle without Justin Jefferson, but I just have to go back to Chicago, their lack of defensive depth in the secondary. And I just think Kevin O'Connell, Wes Phillips, I know those guys. I think they'll have a plan together that can get after that defensive backfield and score some points and more points than Chicago will.
I believe they just worked out your boy, Colt McCoy as well, Jay. I believe the Vikings just worked him out at quarterback the other day. So we'll see what happens there. JJ, you're on the Vikings this week.
Of course.
Let's hear it.
Of course. No, I just think that the Bears aren't there yet. They had a good win last week. I think they come down to earth this week. They're right in that high. Minnesota's still fighting for their lives right now. I mean, Justin Jefferson's out. I get it. Maybe they can get the run game going a little early, help out the receivers just a little bit more. Look for KJ Osborne and, Jordan Addison have a big game. Hawkinson might get involved a little bit. The only thing that really worries me, though, is because this line is short, because this is like almost the same exact line as the Commanders and Falcons game. But I just think there's just more talent on the Vikings than there is on the Bears. And that's why I'm just go ahead and taking the Vikings here in this spot. But then again, if it's a windy day, it's going to be loud. Kirk Cousins could be holding his thing, trying to listen like, how he does. We'll see what happens. But hopefully that doesn't happen to him. Hopefully they get in the run game early again, like I said, and they get this win.
I mean, every time I look at these numbers, our boy Kirko has almost 1,500 yards, 2 yards shy of 1,500, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks, and they're 1-4. Like, I just can't stand that. Like, Kirk is balling out there. He is playing fantastic.
I thought this was kind of a trap game, really. I think with Justin Jefferson being out, Chicago should be favored by a little bit more. This is a tough game for me. If Chicago comes out firing like they did against Washington, was that a fluke or is that who they are now? I mean, that could be problems for Minnesota. I actually, in my head, I feel like I should switch this pick, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins will have a big day despite losing Justin Jefferson.
See, I got a weird feeling that the Vikings could win this game by like 20 points. The Bears have
Did they take the diaper off of Justin Fields? Is that the?
I think the play in this game is the over. I don't know if I don't know if I'd bet the game. I just think that Minnesota will find ways to score against Chicago's weak secondary, and I think Chicago has got a lot of momentum going offensively. I think they'll get some points too.
And that's a great point, JJ, because it wasn't just last week Justin Fields had a great game. He's stringing some good games together. So
I mean, Denver didn't really count because Denver's defense is horrific. Washington, obviously their defense isn't very good either. And
Well,
Minnesota's defense, really, let's be honest, they're not very good either. So
yeah. We'll see if
over.
they
Take the
if
over.
we're taking the over. That one might, who knows? That might be a play of the day max in this game. Let's go to Seahawks Bengals. Coach Jay and I are on the Seahawks to cover in this game as everyone's on the over, putting up points. JJ, Bengals to cover. Jamar Chase said he's always fucking open. 15 catches, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7-11 he posted after the game. Clearly he's always open. Are you riding the wave into this game again? What should be a tough game for the Bengals, playing a good team in the Seahawks?
The Bengals are so back, it's not even funny. It's not even funny how back they are. I can't
After
believe you guys
playing
are on Seattle right now. They're coming off a bye. They're going to be a little lethargic. I think people get rested. I get that. But playing against a team that clicked on all cylinders like the Bengals is hard to match up with, especially on a 3-point spread. And I also look at a lot of lines before the season, like preseason win-loss lines. You know what I mean? So the Seahawks, I believe there were 8.5 total wins for the season. Right now they're hitting their stride, but they need to come back down to earth a little bit if they want to make it close. If Vegas wants to make that close, and I think it's going to be close. And I don't think they're going to get there overall. And this is where they're going to start to fall off just a little bit. I think we're just overvaluing the Seahawks just a little bit. I don't really trust their defense. I think Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they're going to eat this week. T. Higgins might get more involved this week than Jamar Chase was, but I like the Bengals to win this game by at least double digits. I might take the alternate spread.
You said that the Seahawks are a little bit overvalued. You don't think the Bengals are a little bit overvalued when all they did was beat the Arizona Cardinals? You don't think
they only beat the Arizona Cardinals. They look good. Their offense finally clicked. Joe Burrow looked healthy.
No.
Jamar Chase finally got involved. The defense looked good. They held the Arizona Cardinals tightly to their game, and then they started letting out a couple touchdowns in the second half. I think the Bengals might be back here. And the AFC North is still wide open. It's wide open.
It is. It is wide open.
So they could be hungry. They could realize that they might have switched to gear. Beware for Cincinnati. They might be coming along here.
I don't know, Coach. I'm not sold on that because the Cardinals should have been winning at halftime if it wasn't for Josh Jacobs throwing a bullshit pick six with like a minute left in half. It was 24-20 late in the third quarter. Are you buying that the Bengals are back, or are you pumping the brakes on JJ's take a little bit?
I'm pumping just a little bit, but I do believe they're getting better and Joe Burrow's getting healthier. So that is a great sign to JJ's point. I took Seattle because I actually like Seattle's team. I think they have 2 very good running backs. I told you they have multiple receivers that can hurt you. They have 2 or 3 tight ends that can hurt you. And Geno Smith is playing pretty good damn football. So I took Seattle. I just think until Cincinnati can prove they can do it week to week to week to week. Right now, they've been terrible, decent, terrible, good, terrible, good. All right. So Seattle at least have something they can hang their hat on, and that's a pretty strong running game with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, whatever his name is, from UCLA. I at least they have that. So Cincinnati, if the running game, which isn't very good, Joe Mixon has not produced that well. If they have to throw it every down, I think Seattle can rush a passer and make it tough on them.
I'm with Coach JJ. I'm going to have to pump the brakes a little bit. I got to see him string it together against a good team. I'm not saying the Cardinals are terrible, right? They beat the Cowboys, but I got to see it strung together a little bit.
I agree.
We'll see what happens. Big test for him, right?
I think the front runner in that game, whoever gets the lead early, will probably keep it because Seattle does not want to be into a pass situation with Geno because the 2 edge rushers for Cincinnati are pretty good, and Hubbard and the other kid from Florida Atlantic. So that'll be tough on them. So if whoever can get the lead and stay balanced on their offensive attack will probably win that game.
I just traded for DK Metcalf for fantasy football, so big week coming from DK. I need it. 49ers, Browns, let's move on here. Another one, JJ. Look, as a Cleveland Browns fan, right, everybody's probably going to bash me for this on Twitter, right? I honestly, even if Deshaun Watson plays, he's not 100% healthy. I just don't see a world in where the Browns win this game. I know we're talking cover here, so they could lose by 6 or less. But look, guys, at the end of the day, right, that offense is clicking. In the 49ers, their defense is top-notch, if not the best. Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind. I love the under, JJ. I'm with you on the under, especially if it is going to be P.J. Walker. Now, don't get me wrong, P.J. Walker was decent last year when he played in Carolina, but I need you to please walk the Cleveland native through as to how the hell the Browns are going to find a way to cover in this game.
Before I give you the reason why the Cleveland Browns are going to cover in this game, I'm going to tell you my play of the week is the under 37. That's the play of the week.
I love
49ers
that.
just put up 42 plus points. If Cleveland's going to want any chance winning this ball game, luckily it's at home for them, and they got the defense behind them to do something with it. So they're going to have to keep the San Francisco 49er offense in check, and who knows what will happen. I think the 49ers might be right on that high after the Cowboys win. It's just the NFL at the end of the day. PJ Walker, I like PJ Walker. I follow him all the time in the USFL and the XFL, everywhere that he goes, man. I like to bet on PJ Walker. He's a veteran quarterback. He comes in, he plays his position every now and then. He played for the Panthers. He played for a couple other teams. It's this guy. I mean, coming off the streets might be a little difficult for the system and all that, but I just think the defense in Cleveland is going to be able to hold San Francisco to a low total this week. I think their offense is going to falter just a little bit. Because I'm still curious to see how Brock Purdy can consistently put up points. We know they can do it at home, but let's see what he can do on the road against a top 5-10 defense. So that's why I'm on the Browns this week.
It is going to be a little nippy out here in Cleveland. Coach Jay, off air, you were saying this could be the lock of the century, if I'm not mistaken. So any shot that the Browns win this game?
Well, maybe I'll go viral again. Who knows? But zero. San Francisco laying 6 points. I would lay 6 points to anybody in the NFL healthy right now. They're going against PJ Walker in Cleveland. Are you kidding me? 6 points? San Francisco, Brock Purdy is playing at MVP level. We have weapons all across the board. I got the best left tackle in football. We have a great defense, an elite safety, an elite linebacker, an elite pass rusher. I mean, if San Francisco gets the lead, how the hell is Cleveland going to come back? They're not. Is Nick Chubb playing? Nope.
No.
I mean, is Deshaun Watson playing?
No.
Probably not.
No, probably not. They have zero chance. This line should be 21 and a half, in my opinion. And
holy shit, Coach.
Seriously.
On the road.
If it was 21 and a half, would you take San Francisco or Cleveland? You would take San Fran.
If it was at home, I don't know. I would think.
And I have mentioned I love Cleveland's defense. I do, but not when they have to stop the run. They have to stop the play pass. They got to stop Kittle. They got Debo. We got Ayuk. I mean, come on, man. We got a blocking core receivers that are tough and physical. You don't want this. You don't want this. They don't want this. No, this is not a good spot for Cleveland.
They don't want the smoke, Coach. They don't want the smoke.
No. And
are you aware?
I'm trying to figure out why it's 6. I can't figure it out. It's because they're flying on a plane for 3 hours.
Coach, you are treading some dangerous waters here. Do you not?
I like Cleveland's defense, but they're offensively. I mean, Amari Cooper, Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore. Come on. What are they going to do? PJ Walker going to drop back and throw a 3-level throw against Bosa? I mean, they're not going to get a pass off. It's going to be bad. Who they going to hand a ball off to? Jerome Ford? Come on. It's not going to happen this week. Next week, when they get some guys healthy and they're playing somebody lesser talent than San Francisco. San Francisco's an elite team with elite players across the board. The only way you beat San Francisco right now, in my opinion, is if guys get hurt. If those guys stay healthy, San Fran could go undefeated.
I was just going to ask, Coach. You crack me up. I just got to say, Coach, you're pretty funny. Is there a chance that the 49ers, you just said it, but if you had to put odds, let's play this game. If you had to put odds on the 49ers right now to go undefeated, what are you setting those odds at as the odds maker yourself? What would you put those odds at?
Well, you can't guarantee the health of your football team, right?
Let's say they stay healthy. Let's say they stay healthy.
Say they still stay healthy. I would say that they have a better chance to go undefeated than not go undefeated, in my opinion. I know they play Philadelphia, but their division is not that strong. Seattle, I mean, these guys are too good. I mean, they're really too good. Offensive line is good. Receivers are good. Tight ends are good. Their back is elite. Their defensive line is excellent. Their linebacking core is superb. Their secondary is solid. They just don't have any weaknesses. That's their problem.
I want to see an alternate slip this week, Coach, from you. Minus 20.5 on the 49ers. I want to see it. Got to back it up. We'll see. I'm with you. I think that the 49ers.
I'll take minus 20.5 right now. That's what the line should be, in my opinion. It should be 20.5. PJ Walker just coming off the streets Going to beat San Francisco?
The best part about this is PJ Walker is technically still on the practice squad. So if a team wanted to like fuck with the Browns and just go sign him, they could. They wouldn't even have PJ Walker. He's still a practice squad guy. So it's going to be a fun week, Coach. I'm looking forward to that.
Dorian Thompson, where's he at?
Kevin came out today in a press conference and said that DTR is now QB3 and that PJ Walker is now the backup. So it took Kevin Stefanski all but one game against the Ravens for Kevin to make that switch. So we'll see.
I do like PJ. PJ's had a couple decent games, but he ain't. Come on. I just don't understand it.
Niners minus 20.5. We'll take it to the bank, Coach. Let's move on here. Next game on the slate, Panthers, Dolphins. I'm probably going to get laughed at for this, but I'm taking the Panthers to cover in this game. The Giants almost covered last week. It wasn't completely a blowout game. Their name, A-Chain, he just went on IR. Their stud rookie running back for the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill's getting fined for no socks left and right. I'm taking the Panthers to cover. They can put up points. Bryce Young's slowly starting to put it together a little bit. JJ, am I an absolute dumbass for this pick, or do you think that they, again, 13.5, you know, right? You're better. It's a lot. Am I silly for this, or do you think that there's a sliver of hope that they cover in this game, JJ?
I don't think you have any chance, really. I think Miami's just too good. Even though they lost a chain, man. They got Jeff Wilson. He's coming back, and I think honestly, I know the speed that you lose with a chain, but you got Jeff Wilson, who was built in Mike McDaniel's system. So I really like him and Mostert together. The band's back together there. I mean, Tua is playing at an MVP caliber level. He's the second favorite right now to win MVP. I personally like him to take down that award. You got Tyreek Hill playing out of his mind. He's probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year. And you got Jalen Waddle still. I mean, just offensively, they're just not going to be able to keep up. And if the Dolphins just put up points left and right, there's no way Bryce Young and these guys can kind of keep up, man. They might score a touchdown or two, but that's why I got the over. But I think they're going to score like 35 plus points. Maybe they get 17, but that's it. There's no chance.
JJ, are you taking the Dolphins out of the AFC this year to go to the Super Bowl?
I did take them. I just took them last week, or actually a couple days ago. I actually made a Super Bowl future matchup between the 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. The Mike McDaniel and the Kyle Shanahan showdown. Offense sells tickets. You got the San Francisco 49ers over here playing great ball too. That team's going to end up winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But yeah, no, I did make a little future bet on the Dolphins and 49ers future Super Bowl matchup.
Coach, thoughts on that futures ticket there?
It's a good ticket. That's a really good ticket. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes has something to do with that. I think the AFC, there's a lot of teams that are good enough to compete. I think there's going to be teams that are going to get better and better throughout the season and make it a little bit tougher, but that's not a terrible pick. I mean, Miami is a great pick this week. I mean, they're too fast. They're just too fast. I mean, CJ Henderson's a corner. I mean, he can't run with these guys. The only chance they have at Carolina this week is if Brian Burns has like 17 sacks. If he does, then they have a chance. If he only has one sack, then they have no chance because Miami will run them out of the building quickly.
Their offense is electric.
If you were to tell me that someone had 17 sacks and just only have a chance to win, I would, I think that the other team is going to win no matter what.
Carolina, they're not good right now. They're going through a young quarterback. These teams with these young quarterbacks, they're promising. I get it, but to compete with some of this talent that Miami has on offense, Miami's going to jump out. Miami's going to score their points. That means Carolina's going to be forced to throw. And Bryce is not ready to be forced into throwing the ball 35 to 40 times a game. He's not ready. Adam Thielen and DJ Chark, and they're not good enough to get separation and win, to get big plays to compete with Miami. Miami's got too many weapons. It's going to be ugly, in my opinion.
So the Panthers are 0-5, Coach. There is no way that if they are the worst team in the NFL and they have the number one pick, there's no way they draft Caleb Williams with Bryce Young, right? There's no way.
Why in the hell would they not take Caleb Williams?
But I don't think they had their pick.
No, they don't have their pick. Chicago's got it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but even if they did have that pick, they would take Caleb Williams. I mean, come on.
Interesting. We'll see.
If you go 0-17 with a quarterback, I mean, you got the number one pick for a reason.
For
because
sure.
your quarterback's not good enough. So
absolutely
take the best quarterback that this college class has to offer for the last 10 years, and that's Caleb Williams.
Some good quarterbacks coming out of this draft. You've got Drake May from UNC.
Carolina?
You've got
Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, you got Bo Nix potentially. So there could be some good quarterbacks in this draft.
Bo Nix is okay. You got the kid from Washington's a good player.
You know, I think is really underrated. That's really making a name for himself is Jaden Daniels from LSU.
LSU. Yeah, I like him. For sure.
He runs too much for my liking, but I like him. He's a good, talented kid. Yeah.
The last couple games, I mean, they ran up the score. He's got a highlight tape just out of those 2 games for his.
He's a good player. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Not arguing.
Let's move to a game on the slate here where another young quarterback that just came in out of Florida, one of my favorites, Anthony Richardson, is on the IR. He's out. Colts, Jaguars. Everybody is on the Jags to cover here. Everybody's on the under. It's a clean sweep in this game. I got to say, JJ, that injury to Anthony Richardson just is brutal. I know Gardner Minshew has been serviceable, right? But I think we see them start to slide here, JJ, and I think we see the Colts, kind of fall down and fall apart a little bit, and then we see a team like Jacksonville come into this game, and I think I like the Jaguars winning by double digits in this game personally, JJ. Any thoughts there?
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, I think this is the game where Jacksonville really takes that step and separates themselves with another team that's close behind them in the divisional race, right? They win this one, they're in pretty good shape. I know they got Houston still breathing down their neck a little bit. They got to win off of them, but they know how important this game is. Not every game is a gimme. We know that this is a divisional game. These opponents know each other well, but this is a game where Jacksonville needs to have. They're coming off a 2-game win streak in London. Hopefully they bring that momentum down with them. Hopefully they're not jet lagged or anything like that, but going against Gardner Minshew, I think this is the time where the men separate themselves from the boys. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Colts right now, but I just think Jacksonville's too elite right now for them to keep up with at this point in time. So I like the Jaguars.
Coach Anthony Richardson on the IR, like I mentioned, next 4 as well. No IR, you got to miss at least 4. You've got Jags, Browns, Saints, Panthers. Do the Colts stay afloat, or do they start to fall apart here with Gardner Minshew at the helm against, again, Jaguars, Browns, Saints, and Panthers?
No, I coach Gardner. Gardner's a good player. He really is. And I think he might actually give them a better chance early in Anthony Richardson's career in the long term than Anthony would give him. I think Gardner gives a little spark. He can run. He's very accurate. He's a tough guy, very competitive. I think Jacksonville, probably when an ex-player goes to an ex-team, I think Gardner will get a huge ovation. People loved Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. I love Gardner Minshew. I kind of had him. He kind of had a hurt arm. He didn't really finish the year for me. But he's a tough guy. I know he has experience in that system because he was at Philadelphia last year, and the offensive coordinator is now the head coach. This is a tough game for me. I just took Jacksonville because I love what they did against Buffalo. Defensively, they did a great job stopping the running game. James Cook had like 4 carries for -1 yards. They couldn't get the ball going offensively at Buffalo. I just think defensively, I like where they're at. I love the fact that Jacksonville offensively got ETM involved. They got the rest of their guys involved offensively, Ingram and of course the wide receiver Ridley. So I just think Jacksonville right now is in a better place than Indianapolis. But don't sleep on Gardner Minshew now. He's a good player.
Minshew mania. Let's see if he can keep it up this week in Jacksonville. Returning, I liked him. He was on Philadelphia for a minute, right? He was playing in Philly. I remember some of those games.
Jacksonville, he went to Philly. Now he's at Indy.
Yep.
He followed the head coach. The offensive coordinator for Philly is now the head coach at Indianapolis.
Gotcha. We'll see if he can keep it up. Again, you can't count him out. He stepped in so far this year and has looked good. Saints Texans, Peter. Here we go. Everyone's on the Texans to cover.
Wow.
Coach Jay, you're on the under here. Saints just beat the Patriots 34-0. The Texans do have some injuries at receiver. Nico Collins really gonna have to step up and be that true number 1 now. But walk us through the under in this game in Houston. And again, indoors, good weather. Walk us through the under here.
Well, I mean, the Saints are a ball control team. They don't get a lot of big plays. Alvin Kamara will get a lot of carries. Taysom Hill will get some carries from the Wildcat stuff that they do. Houston is still a work in progress. I love the fact that C.J. Stroud's very effective. I mentioned the receiving core they have, and Damian Pierce has to get some good rushes going. I just think it'll be a back and forth battle, a lot of red zone field goal type things happening. It'll be a close game. I'm hoping Houston wins, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I think New Orleans is playing good football on defense. I mean, really good. They shut down New England, who doesn't have very good offense personnel, obviously, but they played pretty good defense all year. I just think Houston will manufacture a couple drives, a couple big plays, and it's at home, and I think they'll get the win.
JJ, how happy are you for CJ Stroud, man? He's looked fantastic. I believe he has not even turned the ball over yet all year. Yeah, almost 1,500 yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Just how good do you think CJ Stroud is going to be, JJ?
As a guy, I mean, he's playing great football, but as a betting man, I'm not too happy because I had Anthony Richardson to win Rookie of the Year. But other than that, he's looking great. There's nothing bad to say about him. I mean, he's the most sought after quarterback right now on the fantasy waiver wire too, on top of it because of the numbers he's putting up. So he's playing great football. He's really turning around that franchise a little bit. I think a lot of people underestimated the Texans this year. There were a lot of people who took that win total under 6.5. Not me. But then again, he's playing good football. The defense is looking good too. I like this one in this spot too. I just think if you saw the Patriots get blown out by the Saints last week, 34-0, maybe they can do it again against this Texans team. But I just think that spread's just a little flawed in a way, and I just think Texans are playing too good football right now to bet against them.
Speaking of the Pats, here we go. Pats Raiders. I am feeling. Thank God you guys are also on the Pats here, but I just I can't get past Mac Jones here. And every time I look at this game, Jimmy G's a winner. I was watching that primetime game on Monday night, and they showed his overall record. And, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were saying it right. You can't discount a quarterback that just flat out finds ways to win ball games. And at home, everybody's on a clean slate for New England and the under. So, Coach, I'm coming back to you here. Help me feel a little better about the Patriots covering in this game. Again, going up against or dealing with the quarterback that's not playing good 1 week. Every game, he starts for the first half or 3 quarters, gets benched. They go back to Bill Belichick midweek, and they say, we're not making any changes. Mac Jones is still starting. So walk us through that thought process and how the Patriots cover here, because I think it's a bizarre situation unfolding in New England.
I don't know how I picked the Patriots, really. I think these are both 2 bad football teams going at it. If I had to do it all over again, I'd take Vegas probably, just because I have Jimmy G and Devontae Adams. Patriots have nobody. I just figured that McDaniel going against Belichick, I took the head coach to win this game, even though those guys don't strap it up and play. I think that sometimes when you get abused in the media, like New England has been getting abused, quarterback, coaching, offense, they have scored 3 points in 2 games. I just think players and people that are competitors will dig down deep and play better than they have played because they're tired of getting ripped on. They're grown men. They're competitors, like I said. I just think they're going to come out firing, and I'm hoping that happens. But from a talent standpoint, the Raiders are probably better at this point, but I'm just taking New England from a pure gut feeling that I think New England's going to come out and play hard.
As obviously, as a former coach, what is the mindset and what is the strategy behind, again, starting Mac Jones, benching him halfway through the game, same week?
They're getting blown out. I mean, why continue to watch him get his head bludgeoned? New Orleans up like 31-0. They took them out. The game before, they were down 30-0. I mean, why let them in there and get punished? I mean, Washington did that to Sam Howell against Buffalo. They were down 30-0. They left him in there. He took 3 more sacks and got hit in the face 15 more times. I mean, let the guys just chill out, bring them back up in, see if there's a little spark, get some positivity going into next week. You don't need to have your starting quarterback just continue to get beaten, throw picks, and get sacked. I mean, why? Let them take a deep breath. Let's regroup and get it in next week.
Well, as I was saying, why not start Bailey Zappi if Mac Jones keeps getting blown out left and right?
They had OTA's training camp for 2 years, right? They know that Bradley Zappi is not as good as Mac Jones. So why start a guy that's not as good as Mac Jones? They got to play better around him. They got to play better defense. They got to be able to run the ball, for God's sakes. The receivers got to get open. Bill O'Brien's got to come up with some plays to get these receivers open and protect the quarterback. Let's do that first. And then if the guys are open and Mac Jones is missing them after, one after another, then yes, take them out and play Bradley Zappi if you want to. But until I see guys getting open and him missing throws, let's give him a chance.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster's not really cutting it for them over there in New England. So they got to.
Yeah, nobody is right now. I don't know why we all took New England. I can't believe
I don't know either. I was like looking at that.
I just can't take the Raiders. I just don't think the Raiders. just can't bet on. This is a game that you can't bet on anybody, right?
No, no.
If you have money and you're betting on this game, you probably should call 1-800-Gamblers Anonymous. This is a bad game to bet on.
Here he goes. I knew JJ would call.
Yeah.
JJ's betting on this damn game. We all know that.
Well, I regret taking the Patriots here. I do. Like when that slide came up, I'm like, damn, did I really take this team? I'm thinking to myself, man, if this is the only game I can remove. I mean, I'll keep Cleveland. I'll take the Broncos. I'll take all these teams that I said beforehand. But this is a game that I really don't want to even touch. I'm not going to lie. But I would touch the under here. I mean, the Patriots, they haven't scored a touchdown since the second quarter in week 3. This is not a good offensive team. I don't see them scoring either against, Max Crosby had a sack last week.
Why would we take the Patriots? I don't understand why we all did that.
We're in trouble. Can
I
watch?
pick?
Yeah, go for it. Watch, the Patriots are going to win this game by 10. We're all going to sit here looking like
I'm going to flip my pick. I'm
all
picking the Raiders. I just hate, I don't like Josh McDaniels in that offense. I figured it'll be a Patriots will get a pick 6, something like that, but I'm flipping my pick. I'm taking the Raiders. I can't take the Patriots.
Last second audible. Coach is calling audible here. He's going Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Here we go. Coach on the Raiders. JJ, I'm sticking with the Pats. Are you sticking? Or are you changing?
Oh God, I'm going. I got audible too. I got to take the Raiders. I didn't realize. I forgot.
At least the Raiders have Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, and I mean they got some good players, right?
They don't even use Devontae Adams. He's just a decoy out there.
They'll use him. They'll use him.
We'll
Jacoby Meyer's a good player. I mean, we got Hunter Renfrow, right? At least we have some good players. I mean, the Patriots have who?
Mac Jones legacy game. Here we go.
Schuster? Come on. Take the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders.
Sounds good.
Can. I'm taking the audible.
Let's keep rolling. Here we go. Rams Cardinals. Everybody, clean sweep is on the Rams to cover in this game. I'm on the under. I think that Rams defense gets to Josh Dobbs here. Obviously losing James Conner to the IR. I think they're going to struggle to run the ball. And I think that the Rams get out early in this game out in front. 48.5 is a lot involving the Cardinals, in my opinion. I know Josh Dobbs has looked pretty good. I'm going on the under, and I'm taking the Rams. JJ, the Cardinals are going to put up points, in your opinion, in this game if you're taking the over?
I do, but I just think the Rams run away with it towards the end. Cooper Kupp came back last week. First drive ended up being a touchdown scoring drive, not for Cooper Kupp, but I think who was it? Was it what's his face, the rookie that ended up scoring? But
Puka.
Puka. Thank you, Puka. Puka ended up scoring. But, offensively they look better. They kept up with the Eagles a little bit, but then the Eagles kind of pulled away there. But then again, I think that this is a game that, the Rams are going to run away with. The Cardinals aren't good. Let's keep in mind this win total again was 4.5. I know Dobbs has looked good. He has nothing to lose right now. I actually started him on my fantasy team last weekend. But this week, I think it all goes down to the Rams. Big divisional game for them. They can go up in the standings. I like the Rams here.
Coach, if the Cardinals lose this game, they're one step closer to perhaps a Caleb Williams pick here. Cardinals, no shot in this game against the Rams in LA?
I won't say I have no shot. I just think the Rams are playing pretty good. Cooper Kupp makes a big difference. I know he came out and had some catches, and they lost the game last week, but I still think that Matthew Stafford, Puka, and to Cooper Kupp is better than Josh Dobbs to Rondell Moore and Marquise Brown. So that's why I took them. And I still think Arizona will score some points. I think the Rams defense is struggling a little bit still. So I think there'll be some points scored in this game. But at the end of the day, the Rams will score a lot more than the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't think anybody can argue with you on that take. Eagles-Jets. Here we go. Eagles-Jets. Coach is on Philly -7, so there's an error there. But JJ, what are your thoughts on the Jets to cover in this game? This might be another just moose shit, Mickey Mouse horse shit pick for me, but I don't care. I in New York, I liked what I saw. Zach Wilson didn't look great by any means, and they were playing Denver. Breece Hall, finally they gave Breece Hall the football. Is this a Mickey Mouse horse shit bet for me as far as the Jets covering in this game?
No, I don't think it's so much because we've seen the Philadelphia defense kind of struggle. Maybe they get it together here, but they're on the road, so the home crowd. I mean, you got that going for you. But I wouldn't touch the New York Jets under Zach Wilson with a 10-foot pole. That's why I'm on Philadelphia. These guys own the clock of possession, time of possession. They kill it. They're number one in the league right now. This game's got underwritten all over it too. I love the under more so than the side. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to run the ball. They're going up against a really tough defense in the New York Jets. So you got that going for you as well. But overall, they're going to move the ball slowly but surely, find the end zone once or twice. And I think defensively, they're going to figure it out, especially going against a guy like Zach Wilson. So I really, really like the under here. It could be a good T spot for the under and then Philadelphia on the money line or whatever you want to take. So that's where I'm at on that one.
Coach, you're on the Eagles to cover. Talk to me here. Do the Jets have a fighting chance with Zach Wilson back there?
100% they have a fighting chance for sure. This is a tough game for me because I think the Jets defensively is pretty damn good. Two elite corners, and they can stop the run pretty well. I just think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will make some plays. Jalen Hurts with his legs will make some plays. And defensively, I don't know if Fletcher Cox is playing or not, but we got some good players on defense for Philadelphia Eagles. They got some injuries, but I think they're getting healthy right now. I just think they're a better team right now than the Jets overall from top to bottom. I like to bet on teams, right? I don't like to bet on quarterback matchups or whatever, but I think top to bottom, Philadelphia doesn't have a lot of weaknesses right now. And I think the Jets do. Their offensive line's not good enough to protect against the Philadelphia pass rush.
God, you're talking about how good the Eagles defense is. It still blows my mind that Jalen Carter slid to them. I saw videos, guys breaking double teams, rookie. Guy's an absolute stud. And they do have a great defense. And I think Zach Wilson, to your point, JJ, probably going to be in hell in this game. So we'll see. 3 more games on the slate. Here we go. Let's keep moving. Bucks, Lions. My guy Baker Mayfield is flat out balling so far in Tampa Bay. We're all on the Lions to cover. You guys are on the under. JJ, do you think Baker Mayfield struggles coming off a bye? The Bucks are coming off a bye. Do you think the Baker struggles in this game against the Lions defense where their team is 4-1 and they're just playing damn good football all around?
Yeah, and I'm also curious to see how the Tampa Bay defense does against an offense like Detroit. You know, they pound the rock. They got some weapons on the outside. Jared Goff is playing good. I'm not really sure if the Buccaneers defense really have had a solid test this year outside of the Eagles game, and we saw the outcome of that one, right? So I'm just curious to see what that outcome will bring. And looking at it, I just think the Lions right now are playing with a lot of momentum. They're going to be hard to beat. And this is one for you guys, man, because like we talked about this earlier about Kirk Cousins possibly getting traded, but people say the Falcons, maybe the Jets, but why not the Buccaneers? I know the locker room is behind Baker Mayfield right now, but I mean, from if you put in a guy like Kirk Cousins with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, those guys, and maybe with a defense that have been playing as well as they have been, I mean, that's definitely a NFC South champion team right there that could even maybe win a game or two in the playoffs. I don't know your thoughts there, but I like the Detroit.
Whoa, Coach, thoughts on Kirk to Tampa?
I don't think Kirk's going anywhere. I mean, maybe he will, but that's not a bad call. But Baker Mayfield's played pretty well this year, and I don't think they probably think that's much of an upgrade from Kirk to Baker probably at this point. Now, week 9 or 10, if Baker struggles mightily, then yes, they do. But right now, I think everybody's got the Baker Mayfield medicine going. They're all fired up about his performance so far. He's getting the ball out, making some plays. However, they're playing Detroit right now, and Detroit's playing pretty damn good football. Their defense, Aaron Glenn's got the defensive unit going. Hutchinson's rushing the passer. They got some good secondary players that are playing hard, playing fast. That rookie from Iowa, that linebacker, is a tough son of a gun. He's playing hard. And offensively, Jared Goff doesn't mess up a lot. And if you make a mistake in coverage, he's going to find it. He's going to get the open guy. Laporta is playing extremely well. Montgomery's a heck of a back. Their offensive line is tough and they're physical and they can run the ball. The play action game with Jared Goff is very good. I just think overall, top to bottom, if this game is close, Detroit has much more firepower offensively and defensively that can overcome anything Tampa gives them.
I got to tell you what, I'm excited for this game as much of the talk that I do. 100%. I'm with all the talk that I do on Baker, right? This is his chance. He's played good, but the teams he's played, combined record is not great. Perfect chance to shut all those haters up, including myself, and go ball against a good team and a good defense, like you said, Jay. 2 more games on the week 6 slate here. Giants, Bills. Let's just take a stroll down injury report lane. Players that are probably not going to play for the Giants this week include Daniel Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson, Andrew Thomas, Darren Waller, Saquon Barkley. I saw your tweet, JJ, I believe. Can we please, is it impossible at this point for that game to get flexed out of Sunday Night Football? Because this is just, nobody wants to watch this game. Bills should win this game by 30.
Alternate line?
Might have to. JJ, I think that, like, you should be able to just take this game out. I mean, Thursday Night Football, we have to watch Denver against Kansas City already. Now on Sunday Night Football, we have to watch the Giants against the Bills. This game should 100% get flexed because, again, JJ, I think this game is not close.
I wish the NFL would do something specifically for Sunday night. You can't do it for Monday night. I tweeted this out too, where before, like, every 2 weeks or whatever it is, before 2 weeks, so you have like the first and second week NFL games already planned. You put those best games as you possibly can. The schedule makers put them on those time slots. But then after week 3 through 17 or 18 now, you have the fans vote. And I know you're going to see a lot of the same teams, but everyone's going to agree on something. They're not going to mind watching, the Chiefs a couple times a week on Sunday night, or like the Bills or whoever. We want to see good football. And a Sunday night nightcap is always good. This is just bad. This just makes me now know that I can have a little bit more to drink during the day, during the afternoon games, where I can pass out at 8 o'clock. So not really miss much. You know what I mean?
That's really nice, JJ. I'm glad I raised you that way.
Coach, are you going to be watching this game? It's going to be ugly. I'm sorry. It's going to be ugly.
I'm going to watch it. What the hell? What else am I going to do? The Giants are struggling. Daniel Jones is out, you say?
Not out yet day to day, but it is not looking like he's going to play.
Wan'Dale Robinson is out? Oh, no.
I mean,
Waller's out? Is Waller out?
Probably.
Probably, or is he out? You guys are making a lot of probable statements that aren't true.
No, doubtful right here. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'll be a struggle. However, Buffalo has some guys out too. I mean, they lost a Pro Bowl linebacker. They've lost a Pro Bowl corner. They lost their other corner. So they have some struggles as well. I know they got Ed Oliver and they got Von Miller. Von Miller doesn't stop the run. They got Espinosa from Iowa on the other side. They're playing pretty good defensively still. They got some good players on defense. I get it. But Buffalo's a little dinged up too. And they're coming back from London. I mean, these guys, this has been a long trip for these guys. Now they're playing the Giants. They watch on film who can't score in the first half. So if you're a player, you're tired, you're half asleep, you're like, oh, we're going to kick these guys' ass. Let's just go out to practice. It could be a little lull in their effort in practice and in this game. So don't sleep on the Giants. The Giants are getting killed. I mean, I still think Buffalo's going to beat the hell out of them, but there could be a situation where the Giants can keep this thing close, maybe a 20-3 game, 20-10 game or something crazy like that.
I'll return it to you, Coach. There is a 0% chance that the Giants win this damn ball game. JJ's already
the coordinator's pretty aggressive. He'll get after Josh Allen. I mean, you never know. You never know. It's pro football. You got to strap on the helmet and play the game. But you're right.
0. I think I know.
How
0.
can this game be 0 in the 49ers versus the Browns? I'm crazy.
I didn't say you're crazy. JJ thinks I think
you're crazy.
Okay.
No, yeah.
I mean, I think the 49ers game has a better chance to be a blowout than this game. The Bills' offense hasn't been that great now in the last couple. I mean, they
I don't know.
That 4 yards last week against the Jaguars. It's not like holy cow, we're playing the Bills.
I think the Browns have a better shot to beat the 49ers than the Giants have the better shot to beat the Bills.
That might be. I disagree with that as well.
Wow. JJ,
I think both teams have 0% chance, but
there we go.
Okay.
0. Zero's all across the board. Here we go.
0.00. That was JJ's grade point average in college.
Shots fired at JJ. There we go. I love it. All the way from across the country almost. Here we go. Monday Night Football. Cowboys, Chargers. Again, I'm on an island here. I don't know, Jay. I can see Jay down here. I don't know if he's doing that because of me or not. Was that because of me, Coach?
No, I'm looking at my picks. I made these picks early in the morning, and I'm like thinking about this pick and what's going on with Dallas, and this is a tough one for me too. I took Dallas because I don't like the Charger defense, and I'm not convinced on some of these decisions the head coach makes going forward on fourth down. I just think there's going to be some decisions. If they have 4th and 3 at their own 25-yard line and go for it, they don't get it, and give Dak Prescott a short field, I think they're going to convert and make some plays. I just think from a total game standpoint, I think Dallas is going to have a coming out party against this Charger defense. I think the Charger defense is not very good. CeeDee Lamb's got to get involved early. If CeeDee Lamb doesn't get involved early, then I regret the pick. But I just feel like CeeDee Lamb's going to have some plays early in the game. And I think Dak Prescott will get some confidence going. And if they get the lead and can turn Micah Parsons and Lawrence loose like they have against in their 3 victories, then they'll win the game. If not, if Eckler comes back, then we could have a tough day for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dak said he's not throwing under 10 interceptions. He's throwing under 10 interceptions just through 3 in one damn game. JJ, are you confident in the Cowboys? I know it sounds like Coach kind of wants to flip-flop and come on my side of the table. Where are you rolling?
This is a toss-up. It's a toss-up. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think more points are going to be developed by the Cowboys this week, knowing how bad the defense is from the Chargers. I think this game has overwritten all over it. I think it's going to be a great Monday Night Football game, one that we've needed for some time now because we've had good Monday Night Football in a very long time. So this one here, definitely a coin flip. And to my dad's point, if LA starts out fast and Dak has to play from behind, that's one thing, but this defense isn't the 49ers defense either. So this is one that he has to kind of keep up in the shootout with. And looking at both offenses, I would take probably Justin Herbert and those guys on that side of the ball over Dak Prescott, but that's just me. But I think somehow, some way the Cowboys pull it off. It's America's team on Monday night. I'm going Cowboys.
America's team pulls it off. As we always close, I'm out. JJ, you had Lions last week, did you not, in this against the Panthers in the Survivor?
Mm-hmm. I did.
You guys are both in, Coach. I think, didn't you have the same? I think you might have taken the Lions as well. Here we go. Last
week I took the Dolphins last week.
Dolphins, gotcha. They won as well, so you guys are both still sitting here. One team that wins this week, JJ, kick us off. Survivor Week 6. Can you keep it going? Here we go.
This one's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't want to lose some of my elite teams right off the rip. So, because I already took the Bills earlier. I took the Lions already. Those are 2 good teams right there. I'm going to go the LA Rams. I think that they take that step forward. I think they leave the Arizona Cardinals in the dust here. I think with Cooper Kupp being back, their offense is more lethal. Being at home, it's not really much of a difference in LA because I think you get half and half fans, and you get some fans that are from different fan bases that just attend the games with wearing different jerseys. But this one, I like the Rams here offensively. They've still been playing good without Cooper Kupp. I think defensively they're going to get together. Maybe Dobbs has a bad game, but I think the play is the Rams. So that's my Survivor pick this week.
JJ rolling with the LA Rams.
Get to the point already. I'm taking the Rams as well. That was my pick. I'm sorry. I mean, I had the Rams written down. I'm taking the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp are going to get it done against Josh Dobbs and Marquise Brown. I'm taking the Rams. Sorry.
I'm flying to Arizona if they win, and I'm going in that Josh Dobbs, that facility. I'm getting that damn Josh Dobbs jersey. I'm going to send it to both of you if the Cardinals come out on top in this one. I don't think they will.
More times in the year that we can take the Rams, right?
Very true.
Rams is a good pick.
Great pick. Again, I believe you, Coach. You probably had the slip in written down before JJ. Who knows? But I believe you. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week we will be live from the BetCheck Sportsbook in downtown Cleveland. The Grudens are going to be joining me down there. Giveaways, bonus bets. JJ's going to come nuke some bets as well as Coach Jay. Coach, I know you're sweating out the Braves right now. What's the score on that game? Are they winning?
No, 7-1.
Oh, my God. You had the over. One more run. Here we go.
7-3. I can't see the TV. My eyes aren't very good. It's either 7-1 or 7-3.
Oh, JJ's checking. We got it. Here we go. Did the over cash?
It's 7-1. Top of the 6, though, so we're still alive.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for episode number Week 6. Appreciate you guys joining. I will see you next weekend in Cleveland.
Yeah.